Welcome back to another enriching session of our Rape of the Lock series. I'm thrilled to have you all here once again. In our last class, we dove deep into the dazzling world of Pope's satire and paused gracefully at line 115. Today, we are all set to pick up the poetic thread from line number 116 and continue unveiling the charm, wit, and hidden critique that Pope so artfully weaves. So, sharpen your pens and minds because today's lecture promises yet another dose of elegant analysis, rich vocabulary and literary delight. So, let's begin. So, line number 116, to 50 chosen cells of special note. Sylphs are the airy spirits, the imaginary airy beings assigned by Pope as the guardians of women. Of special note refers to particularly important or distinguished. So the speaker refers to the 50 specially chosen cells, the air spirits, who are notable and worthy, and these beings are given a significant task. We trust the important charge and the petticoat. So the petticoat is basically an underskirt worn beneath a dress, symbolic of feminine modesty and chastity. यूजुअली जो फीमेल होती हैं वो किसी भी गाउन या साड़ी के जो नीचे एक फैब्रिक एक अंडरस्कर्ट पहनती है, उसको हम पेटीकोट कहते हैं. ठीक है. सो charge refers to some responsibility or duty. So these cells are given the crucial responsibility of guarding the petticoat, which here symbolizes a woman's modesty and reputation, right? Oft have we known that the sevenfold fence to fail. This is often. Sevenfold fence refers to this is a metaphor for many layers of clothing, or we can say the moral protection around a lady. So fail refers to be breached or broken. So even with multiple layers of protective clothing, Pope Alexander Pope notes that they sometimes fail to protect a woman's honor. Though stiff with hoops and armed with ribs of veil. So basically, hoops refers to circular structures used in skirt to give shape, and ribs of veil. This is actually whale bones used in corset and body sizes to stiffen the dress. So, despite being reinforced with stiff structures like hoops and whale bones, the clothing and hence the modesty can still be penetrated or violated, right? Form a strong line about silver bound. Silver bound refers to the border or the edge of the dress, often decorated with the silver thread. So these silks form a protective barrier around the petticoat's border, guarding the lady who is Belinda, right? And guard the wide circumference around. So circumference basically वो ये circumference होता है सर्कल का, तो बेसिकली इसकी बात हो रही है, circumference की बात हो रही है ये. तो they are assigned to patrol the full area around her dress, ensuring her safety and honor is preserved, right? Now the next stanza is, whenever spirits careless of his charge. So careless of his charge refers to neglects his responsibility. This line means that if any self neglects his duty, he will face dire consequences. His post neglects or leaves the fair at charge. At large, sorry, large है ये. So leaves the fair at large means leaves the lady unguarded. Fair refers to the lady. So unguarded or unprotected, it means if the spirit fails to protect the lady, the fair, or leaves her exposed, then he will be punished. तो जो spirit अगर जो lady की protection नहीं कर पाएगा, अगर fail हो जाएगा और उसकी नेग्लेक्शन की वजह से, उसकी इग्नोरेंस की वजह से अगर लेडी एक्सपोज हो जाती है तो उसको फिर चार्ज, उसको पनिश किया जाएगा, ठीक है। शेल फील शार्प वेंजेंस सून ओवरटेक हिज सेंस। शार्प वेंजेंस refers to swift and harsh punishment. Overtake refers to overcome or to catch up with. So, any self guilty of negligence will quickly suffer punishment for following his sacred task. Be stopped in vials or transfixed with pins. So, stopped in vials का मतलब हो गया trapped inside bottles like perfume vials, and transfixed with pins मतलब pierced or impaled with sharp pins. So the punishment may include being imprisoned in tiny bottles. मतलब वो कह रहे हैं कि जो ये परफ्यूम जितनी छोटी बॉटल्स में, उनको एज पनिशमेंट उसमें रख देंगे, इम्प्रेजेंट कर देंगे, उसको उस पर कैद कर देंगे, और या फिर उनको पियर्स करेंगे पिन से. तो दिस इज़ whimsical येट पेनफुल इमेजरी फॉर दिस एयर स्पिरिट्स, अगर वो अपनी ड्यूटी को सही तरीके से पूरा नहीं कर पाए तो. Or plunged in takes of bitter washes lie. Bitter washes refers to harsh cosmetics or cleansing fluids आप कह सकते हो. Plunged refers to dipped or submerged. So this line means that another there's one more penalty, that is being thrown into unpleasant cosmetic liquids, symbolizing torments for the spirit, right? So the next lines are, or wedged whole ages in a bodkin's eye. So wedged means trapped or squeezed. Whole ages means for a long time, or we can say eternity. For whole ages मतलब सब पूरे समय के लिए, लंबे समय के लिए. In a bodkin's eye, that means this actually it's a small hole in a needle और अ हेयर पिन. दिस लाइन, इस लाइन का मतलब यहाँ पर ये है, अ स्पिरिट हु फेल, मतलब जो भी जो है वो अगर अपना ड्यूटी अच्छे से नहीं करता है, जो भी स्पिरिट है, देन दे मे बी ट्रैप्ड फॉर सेंचुरीज in a tiny eye of hairpin. So it symbolizes a cruel and humiliating punishment for being so airy and delicate, right? Gums and pomatums shall his flight restrain. Gums and pomatums refers to some sticky cosmetics, or we can say the ointment used by women to फॉर देयर हेयर एंड स्किन. एक कुछ स्टिकी सा कुछ कॉस्मेटिक्स होता है जो स्किन और हेयर के लिए यूज़ होता है, स्टिकी होता है काफ़ी. शेल हिज फ्लाइट रेस्ट्रेंट, तो वो उस पर लगा दिया जाएगा सो दैट इट कैन प्रिवेंट द एरी स्पिरिट फ्रॉम फ्लाइंग फ्रीली. So the sticky beauty products, gums, that might trap the spirit, restricting his freedom of movement, which is especially torturous for a creature of air, right? While clogged, he beat his silken wings in vain. Clogged का मतलब यहाँ पर हो गया weighed down और stuck कह सकते हो आप आसान भाषा में. Beats his silken wings, it means tries to escape from by flapping delicate wings in vain, मतलब without success. So the spirit covered in cosmetics, that is gum, that's the sticky product. So the spirit covered in cosmetics tries to desperately to fly, right? But his wings are uselessly stuck. So this is a tragic image of helplessness. Or alum septics with contracting power. alum स्टिप्टिक्स जो है इसका मतलब हो गया, ये एक एस्ट्रिंजेंट सब्सटेंस होता है दैट इज़ यूज टू कॉस्मेटिक टू टाइटन द स्किन. ठीक है, तो कुछ ये एक प्रोडक्ट है जो स्किन को टाइट रखने के लिए करती हैं, लेडीज़ यूज़ करती हैं. एंड कॉन्ट्रैक्टिंग पावर, इट मीन्स द पावर टू श्रिंक और टाइटन. तो बेसिकली स्किन को टाइट रखना है. एज जब बढ़ती है किसी की भी, चाहे मेल हो या फीमेल हो, तो स्किन लूज़ होने लगती है. तो जो लोग यंग दिखना चाहते हैं, अपनी एज से कम दिखना चाहते हैं, तो वो कुछ चीज़ें करते हैं यूज़ जिससे उनकी स्किन टाइट रहती है. आजकल तो सर्जरीज होती है, पर 18th सेंचुरी में तो सर्जरी शायद नहीं होती ही नहीं थी। तो ये इस तरह के कुछ कॉस्मेटिक्स तब उस समय यूज़ करते थे, ये उसकी बात हो रही है। सो कॉस्मेटिक्स पाउडर्स लाइक एलम विद देयर श्रिंकिंग पावर can affect even spirits, demonstrating the dominance of beauty rituals even over magical beings, right? Shrink his thin essence like a rivaled flower. So, thin essence refers to the delicate or the airy spirit's form. Rivaled refers to wrinkled or shriveled flower. तो आपको पता ही है. So these powders shrivel the delicate spirit just as a flower withers and loses its beauty and life. So this is a haunting image of decay for an airy spirit. Or as Ixion fixed, the wretch shall feel. This refers to, actually, this was a figure in Greek mythology who was punished by being tied to a spinning wheel in hell. So this is a Greek mythology reference here. Wretched का मतलब हो गया miserable creature. So a careless self who actually fail, मतलब जो फेल हो जाएगा वो, he may suffer like Exin, eternally fixed or and tormented. It's a reference of to classical myth to elevate the satire, right? Next, the giddy motion of the whirling mill. Giddy motion refers to dizzying or spinning movement. Whirling mill refers to a rotating machine, possibly likened to the spinning wheel of cosmetic society and punishment. So this spirit the spirit may be spun endlessly, like on a mill or wheel, mirroring Ixen's eternal punishment, caught in a cycle of torment. Right. Next line. In fumes of burning, chocolate shall glow and tremble at the sea that floats below. Fumes of burning chocolate, this is actually a rich aromatic vapor from preparing hot chocolate, right? This one, which was fashionable then, right? Shell glow refers to the spirit shall suffer or be enveloped in. So this is a humorous, or we can say ironic punishment, being scorched in the rising stream of hot chocolate, a luxury item of elite Pope's, and this is Pope's way of blending satire with elegance. Tremble and tremble at the sea that floats. Sea that floats. This possibly refers to the boiling liquid chocolate. Tremble refers to shake in fear. So the self suspended over a bubbling, boiling cup, that is sea, must tremble in terror. Again, cosmic exaggeration mixing the trivial hot chocolate with the grand mythical fear, right? So if we talk about this whole passage, so Pope continues to mock epic style, describing the exaggerated punishment that might befall any sylph who fails his duty. This include being trapped in tiny objects, suffocated by cosmetics, shrunk like a dried flower, spun like a mythic ixion, and tortured over streaming chocolate. This rich mixtures of myth, beauty culture, and satire mocks how seriously people take appearances and courtly rituals, right? Now the next lines are, this is actually the last stanza of Canto 2. He spoke the spirits from the sail descent. So he refers to Ariel, right? The chief self. Spirits refers to the supernatural beings guarding Belinda from the sail descent. It means they come down from the air like sailing through the sky. So after Ariel speaks, the sylphs descend from the skies like sailors coming down from sails, preparing for action. Some orb in orb around the nymph extend. Orb in orb refers to forming protective circles around her. nymph आपको पता ही है, it's a poetic term for beautiful young woman, refers to Belinda actually. Extend refers to spread or stretch. So some cells from concentric circles, ये ऑर्बिट नो मतलब ऑर्बिट एंड ऑर्बिट ऐसे हो गया, ऐसे कुछ सर्कल्स के अंदर सर्कल्स बन रहे हैं, ठीक है. So some cells form concentric circles around Belinda to protect her, like a magical guard of aura. Some thread the mazy ringlets of her hair. Thread refers to pass through, and it's an archaic poetic form of thread. Mazy ringlets. रिंगलेट्स होते बेसिकली जो कर्ल्स होते हैं ना हेयर के. मेजी रिंगलेट्स मीन्स ट्विस्टिंग कर्ल्स ऑफ हेयर. So other cells pass through the intricate curls of Belinda's hair, possibly guarding it. So ironically, the hair is about to be cut. Some hang upon the pendants of her ear. Pendants आपको पता ही है. उसके pendants of her ear का मतलब है earrings. Hang upon refers to cling to or hover around. So some spirits hover near her earrings, guarding every part of her ornament beauty. With beating hearts, the dire event they wait. Beating hearts means it suggests fear or anticipation. Dire event, it refers to a dreadful or a tragic event. So the self waits nervously, intensely for the coming crisis, the cutting of lock, though it hasn't happened yet, right? The last line of this canto 2, anxious and trembling for the rebirth of fate. So anxious and trembling refers to extremely worried and fearful, right? Birth of fate refers to the unfolding of destiny, or we can say an inevitable event. So the spirits are deeply anxious, trembling, as they sense that something tragic or fateful is about to happen. So this last stanza, the lines from this stanza, we can see that Ariel, the chief self, um, has finished giving instructions to protect Belinda. As a response, the spirit descend from the skies and surround Belinda in a various way. Some circle her around her, some thread through her curls of her hair, or some cling to her earrings, right? So, despite their magical presence, they are anxious and fearful, sensing that something unfortunate is about to happen. They are nervously waiting for the fate to unfold, even though the danger is as trivial as a lock of hair being cut, right? So, Pope uses grand epic style language to describe a very minor event, adding humor and satire by showing how exaggerated the reaction is. So, thus concludes Canto 2 of The Rape of the Lock, where Pope masterfully blends the grandeur of the epic form with the elegance of satire through the fluttering cells and the ornamental beauty of Belinda, and losing sense of an impending dire event that he magnifies a trivial incident into a mock heroic spectacles. So thus the canto ends on a note of suspense as the spirits anxiously await the turning point of fate, and making readers both amused and intrigued. With this, we pause and ready to continue in the next canto, Canto 3, as destiny prepares to unfold its playful drama. The suspense has been beautifully built, and the cells stand on guard, anxious and trembling as fate prepares to play its part. So, in the next class, we shall begin Canto 3, where the real twist of the narrative unfolds. Until then, keep reading, keep revising, and we will meet again very soon with Canto 3. Thank you.